All right, hello everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the SIG Node CI subgroup meeting. It's May 8th. And so looking at the agenda, I'm going to share in a moment. It doesn't look like we have any agenda items, so we're going to jump right into triage today. So I'll begin by looking at test triage, and then Dixita is going to take on bug triage. So actually these are switched. But let's kick it off. So let's look at our, don't have the link.
It's
okay,
in
let me see.
the doc. If you scroll up, there is the link list grid as well, which we might want to start with.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. Alrighty. Okay. Some flaking, some failing. Let's take a look if any of these are new. Okay, some swap Fedora failures. So yeah, those are new. This might be in relation to when we switched to Cryo 130. So I don't know. I don't know why it would be, but this, I think Sasha switched it to 130 just recently. Yeah, so that could maybe line up here. So let's open an issue for that. There's a fancy way to do that, right? I can't find it. That's okay. I'll take a action item to open an issue for this and work with Sasha on it. Might have just missed something up there. Okay. So, but then other than that, these are looking fine. Let's look at the container D ones. Some flakes. Let's see. Serial test has been weird for a while, so I think that's okay. Yeah, there's been about a month of this. Has anyone looked at any of these failures? Do we know? Hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, I might have looked at it for a bit. So we expect the killer to trigger, but the pods are getting evicted before that. So I think there is some race condition there. But yeah, I think we can mark these tests as flaky and move probably.
Okay. Should we maybe also open an issue to fix the flaky test? I think it'd probably be better if we had them somehow. I'm not sure how we can.
I think there is an issue open for it. I'll have to look for it, but yeah, I think there is already an.
Cool. Okay. That's fine then. And I'm guessing that it's the same. Yep. Yep. Okay. So that's fine. If we have an issue for it, then that's okay. We're tracking it. And we can follow up on that one. I wonder if cryo serial tests are hitting the same. Maybe not. Do we even have serial tests? Yeah, we do. Disconformance. They're also, yeah, interesting. Okay, so we don't hit this. I wonder if maybe kernel differences is here, is kicking in here or something like that. Also different. There also was a change that Cryo made a while ago. I don't know if in container D you, oh gosh. It's about the collect mode. there was a while where cryo was setting the collect mode on all units to be inactive or fail. Oh wait, yeah, inactive or fail collect mode, but that's actually the wrong thing to do because that means the monitor for the pod races against the system D, because like when an kill happens, that marks the unit as failed, and then system D deletes the unit, and then the container, the like our conmon, which would be container D's shim, can't collect the status in time. I don't know if you would hit the same situation. It's kind of a obscure bug, but I also wonder if maybe that has something to do with it, if continuity is hitting it and cryo isn't. But we can follow up there. That's some features. This is the same one, right? Yeah. Nope, that's same. Okay, same one. This has been flaking for a while, I think. I remember this one. Oops. Yeah, it's nothing new. I think we have a, I think Kevin opened an issue for this one. And same. Okay. So these are failing consistently, so definitely I will open up an issue for that, and we can sort of look into that a little bit more.
That was, Peter, that the event at Plague One, that was someone opened a PR, and that might be just a pre-submit job. They might be trying it out to test the PR.
Well, yes, and that makes sense why there's no history, but this failure is the same as these other ones. So, oh, not that one. That's the only one that's different. But like this, it's like the same test is failing. So I think cryo tests are just failing on this. So good to know though for this, check that that PR is not failing because of this test, because those are just failing all over the place. But that also explains the history there. So thanks for that context. Okay. Resubmits. Serial tests. Bit pressure. And container D. So okay. Yeah, I think there is an issue for that one. And then it's the same. Yeah, that's failure. So tests are looking okay. We have like one or two known flakes, and then one new one, which I think could be traced to this, so we can test that out. But looking okay there. Let's see. See if there are any. Did anyone have anything they wanted to do on the test grid side, or should we look through the CI and test board? Cool. So this one, it shouldn't be on the CI board, but it's is on the node PR, and we can look at that later. This looks like it was pulled in because it's a pod API, but I don't think it touching other stuff. But I don't think that it is like uniquely SIG node, so I think we can archive it here. And we probably do need to have an approver look at it, but from SIG node. But we can do that. After, cache. This is mostly in the scheduler. There is like I guess maybe this K testing piece is what added to it, but I think that we can remove this one from the board. This looks pretty strictly scheduler. Did Patrick tag it as SIG node? I guess so. We'll remove it here and then maybe keep it in the trios board. SI. Looks like some kubelet stuff, but mostly storage. So I think we can sort of treat this similar to the DRA one. I'm just kind of plowing through these. If anyone has any sort of notes on the way I'm doing it, please speak up. But I'm, cranking. All right. API stuff. I don't even know why this got put in our board at all. So that's cool. Is it marked as node? Marked it as node. Interesting. I don't know why the robot did that, but I think we can take this out of our boards. Does anyone feel opposed to that? Okay, one more. Oh, why does it keep doing it? Another storage thing. There's actually a kubelet change, but I don't think it should be on the, I guess there's the test, the storage test. I think we can remove it from this one and then maybe leave it there for the node approval whenever API happens.
Do you want to give that to SIG storage?
I believe it is already in SIG storage. Yeah, the tag marks it as SIG storage.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I didn't see that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, it just included us because I think it's a kubelet change. Cool. So those are those. I'll triage there. Poking through these real quick to see if there's anything that, but I think since they're already triaged, we should be okay. Were there anything for the triage pieces that anyone wanted to cover, or should we switch to bugs? Alrighty, maybe I'll yield the floor to you, Dixita, and then we can take it.
Sure. Thank you, Peter.
Yep.
So this is interesting. I don't see any bugs in the triage section. So maybe we can go over the ones that need information.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, there have been some updates here. So we'll start with this. Kubelet crashed due to thread exhaustion. Below was the stack trace of crash. Okay. Kubelet logs validated around 2,000 threads. Majority are with this stack trace. Top is kubelet using 80 GB of memory. The expectation is kubelet not to crash, increase memory and thread footprint low. How we can reproduce it? By injecting error in login D or dbus logic. This should be reproducible. Trace down the kubelet where these threads are getting created in the loop. Okay, the system D new bus connection. Okay, this is what we see. This is Kubernetes version 124. Could you try reproducing this in the newer version? It appears that the kubelet bug got triggered because of login D service, debug service being in certain error state. It was observed in one of the cluster and then it went away after rebooting. I'm not sure how to trigger the situation again. However, I provided my analysis based on the stack trace observed. The crux of the issue is 10,000 Go threads were created by kubelet to create connections with dbus when error is returned in the auth path because of infinite for loop and unclosed earlier connections. Yeah, looks like they were not able to reproduce this issue, and it happens only. We have seen this issue only rarely. I tried to reproduce this as well in my local setup without success. So I think that this is not reproducible in the newer versions.
They are saying that even though it's not it's not easy to reproduce. If you see the description, they're given a clear direction or clear pointer to the code where infinite number of threads are getting created. So we need to investigate whether this is indeed true or not. You can assign this to me, and then we can take it forward.
Okay, and it might be worth if you share your findings as well whenever,
Sure.
just for learning.
Sure.
Thank you so
Thanks.
much. Pre-processing of kubelet containers running key. I don't understand how you can get the correct values if the pre-processing is the same for different keys, namely kubelet container dot running and container dot restarts. I want to understand why the same pre-processing is performed for different keys. How to reproduce it? Uh, Kubernetes client and server versions, nothing in here, I would say. It seems that the issue should be transferred to kubelet, not kubectl. Can you provide the impact and how to reproduce? Okay, I don't see any information here. So we'll hold on to this one.
What is exactly the bug here?
Yeah, I couldn't follow it either. They say I don't understand how to get the correct values if the pre-processing is same for different keys. And these are the keys. I want to understand why the same pre-processing is performed for different keys. And
Key as in what is this key? What
I
is the
think,
context of?
yeah, no details here, but I think they mean just this key, like a map key,
Okay. Okay.
not the key.
And how long it has been Sergey asked them for the it has been Jan 3. It's been quite long, right?
Yes, looks like. So do we want to close it?
Yeah, the bot is like taking care of it. We see it's marking it stale.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'll just leave it for the bot then. Does it sound good?
Yep, sounds good.
Cool. Also might have to move the first one to triage accepted. Okay. Kubelet was not able to reclaim memory from buffer or cache and complains memory pressure and evicting pods. Just want to see the last status first. Oh, okay, let's read the bug. Once one of a few nodes, kubelet says reclaiming memory, and it does not look to be doing any reclaim from Linux cache memory, which is causing memory pressure status from kubelet. Then it tries to evict pods and start showing some of those pods as container status not known. This is the cluster running on C group V2 and container D. It is expected to reclaim the memory and not evict pods and go into an error state of memory pressure as there is a lot of memory available in the cache.
This has been a long-standing issue where a memory pressure due to cache causes eviction. There's a bug from 2017 or something which is still not closed.
Okay.
I don't remember top of my head. You can assign this to me. I'll try to find that bug and reference it here.
Okay. Thank you. We'll look. Image pull policy always may pull stale image based off stale image digest resolution. Let me see the data status first.
This would be an issue in the runtime, I think. I don't think the kubelet does any actual resolution of the thing. So depending on which runtime they're using, pretty sure.
Yeah, let's read the bug. I think there is some conversation down there. I'm running API test jobs using the cron trigger, which requires use of a fixed tag, example master main or latest. When running tests which have recently been modified, frequently a stale image is run, which may be several hours old. I have ruled out the local Docker registry since the contents of the tag and latest sh shall match exactly. Every time the kubelet launches a container, the kubelet queries the container image registry to resolve the name of the image digest. If the kubelet has a container image with the exact digest cache locally, the kubelet uses its cached image. Otherwise, the kubelet pulls the image with the resolved digest and uses that image to launch the container. Although the container image registry can resolve a name to the image digest, the image digest is no longer the latest version. Essentially, there is caching which can't be overridden, making cron trigger unreliable for mutable image tags. Preferred behavior would either be a new image pull policy, always no cache, okay, which will always resolve latest image digest, or update behavior for always to never use cached image digest and just rely on the cache digest for if not present. I couldn't follow the details around the image digest or how do they work. Can someone explain if they understood? Let's see, what are the latest comments? So, Peter, were you saying that this is something that the runtime does?
I think so. I mean, I need to dig a little bit more into because the kubelet is going to get the resolved image from the runtime. So it passes down pull always, and then the runtime is supposed to resolve the digest and then return that in the image status response for that specific image. And so I guess it's possible that the kubelet is caching the response to image status and not updating it, but or not like re-asking for it. But I don't know exactly. But Sergey also commented there saying it may be a container runtime issue. I think do we know which runtime they're using?
I don't think that. Let me see.
AWS, so probably Containerd, I would guess, if it's a cloud provider.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's, I think leaving it in needs information is correct because we haven't gotten more information about the runtime and what that's up to. It's like theoretically possible that the kubelet is keeping around a stale cache for the image status and not like updating it, but I would sooner guess that the runtime is getting confused or something like that.
Okay. So what further information do we need to decide whether it's the runtime or the kubelet?
I think having getting more information from, I think like we should figure out which runtime it is concretely, and then probably get let me just double check because
have they provided the reproduce for this?
See.
I'm trying to understand what is the issue. I haven't gone through this wall of text that we see here, but usually that's pretty, as Peter mentioned, right? It's a part of it's a job done by the runtime. Nothing that kubelet interacts with. And then nevertheless, yeah, create an image. The job that references this image, run the job, update the tag, see the stale version run.
Yeah, I don't think that the kubelet should be using a cached digest here. I mean, I think
there is no cache kubelet maintains for the image tags. Even in this reproduce I'm trying to read here, they update the image, right? And then run the job, and they just say stale version run. Maybe the digest isn't changed. They didn't. Even though you create a new tag, doesn't mean the digest will change. I'm having a hard time to believe that, let's say if I have a Ubuntu latest image and if I push a new update and if I do Ubuntu latest again, if I try to run the container, the registry will resolve to newer image. And so what is the issue here? What is the bug that at its core? And I'm not trying to understand that.
and it's difficult because there's a whole bunch of people chiming in saying they're also hitting this issue, but they're hitting kind of different issues each time. About they're just like, it seems like the image pull code is, they're just feeling like it's not working in the way they're expecting it to.
Because this comment here on March 22nd. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. There you go.
No, I'm just reading this March 22nd comment is saying, I'm using master tag with pull policy always, right? So the Docker registry is accessible. I verified that it's immediately updated after I updated tag. Correct. That means they should have run the container with the latest digest. Working in my team's depot. Marco found something.
I'm seeing stale master tag resolution on image for both. With DevOps help.
What does that sentence mean? Stale master tag resolution? So
I think what they're saying is they're seeing an outdated digest being pulled or being used for, like, so the master tag, I think, is an image tag that they're using, and they're pushing a new image to the master tag and then trying to create a new pod with pull policy always, and they're seeing the old master tag being used.
Okay. So even though they're pushing the new image, they still see the container using the old digest, the image with that old digest.
Right. In that case, that would be a bug in the runtime.
Yep. Yeah, I was about to say that. Yep.
And let me see what this issue is about. Image pull policy to pull latest image or use existing image if repository unavailable. This seems
that's okay. So that's a different
thing.
Thing.
Different. Okay, I'll close it then.
Yeah, I think what they want. Yeah, I mean a force image pull policy. I can understand why they would maybe want that, but like I don't know if the use case is really sound enough to support it. I think if they want to be always pulling, then they should always pull and make sure that their registries are available.
This may not
And
be
then for all
related,
the
but I
other
have
ones,
seen this. I have seen this in Wave once where I was pushing the image and the registry was taking longer to update its internal database. And if I immediately try to start a pod or container with that image, it will still needs to run with the old digest, even though So I hope they are not running into the same issue. But it was the issue in that way registry that I was using, nothing to do with the container runtime either.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
yeah,
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I was going to say I could leave a comment and sort of summarize what we've talked about, which I think is that like we need to separate, like there's a couple of different things that different people are talking about. The use case where someone wants to be able to always pull unless the registry is not available. I think that's a tricky thing to design because the Kuba and the container runtime don't have a perfect communication route between each other and also the container runtime, it can't always tell when a registry is unavailable versus like it's a bad registry or something like this. So I think I don't know if we should support a fourth option. And then for all of the other bugs where someone's like, I'm not getting the right image, like I think that's a runtime issue and they should take it up with their CRI implementation.
Okay. So I'll assign it to you to comment. Peter, what's
I can just comment. You don't need to assign it.
Oh, sounds good. Thank you. This is something we already discussed. Pod pending in pod initializing state after init container killed. We recently upgraded to 123 and started the experience of sporadic issues of the stuck pods. They seem to happen when one of the init containers of the pod exit with reason killed, and we have restart policy set to never. Let's see what's the latest update on this. Okay. Reproducible in 126. Okay, there was a PR to fix the issue. Actually, I can reproduce this. I can only reproduce this in 126 with content cannot reproduce in 127. In 127, the exit code of the init container is set correctly to 137. Okay. Thanks for the give. So this might have been resolved then. Okay, let me see what this is and the status of the PR. Give terminal face correctly to all pods that will not be restarted. This might have been resolved then. Is my understanding correct?
Everything is old on that bug, more than a year old.
Yeah.
Around here at least.
So we'll let the bot handle it then?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. This is 2 weeks old. Node graceful shutdown failed to update pod status for system critical pods. Pods with a system cluster critical priority class set are not evicted by node graceful shutdown when a node is slated to be shut down. Instead, they are evicted by the taint manager once the toleration seconds period expires. The expectation is I'd expect the presence of priority classes to be orthogonal to whether or not graceful node shutdown evicts the pods or not. If the graceful node shutdown runs on node shutdown, then the pods should be evicted before taint manager runs. There are steps for repro. I'm just seeing, okay, they have provided the information as well. Okay, then we want to read this. How to reproduce it, run. Go ahead.
Look at the last comment.
Graceful node shutdown settings are this. I'm testing on a worker node. The issue is that I'm seeing that the pod status is not being updated to reflect termination by kubelet. This means that the deployment controlling the pod never sees that another replica is needed, and so no new pod is scheduled. This results in having to wait for 300 seconds for taint manager eviction. My expectation is that graceful node shutdown is configured that all pods are evicted from the node and rescheduled elsewhere in the cluster. So this is still an issue, right?
I think it's similarly related to the other graceful shutdown issue that we're seeing. We could probably accept this, but it might be a duplicate of the other issue. You can assign it to me or Phillips.
Okay. Can you explain what the issue is?
Well, I don't exactly know. We have a different issue in Kubernetes for graceful shutdowns. And I suspect he's hitting that issue as well. But I can look into it and comment further on it.
Okay. And the other issue that you mentioned, is it specific to this priority class?
It's any priority class.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Kubelet restart causing running pod restart with unexpected admission error when the pods have init containers and external devices like GPU. When restarting kubelet, it will restart the running pods with unexpected admission error when pods, init containers, and containers both use external devices like GPU. The expectation is restart kubelet should not cause running pods to restart. Create some pods with the NVIDIA GPU and init containers, which also use GPUs. Wait till init containers exit and restart kubelet. There was an issue and a fix for running pods with devices, but it looks like the init container is not counted as should skip containers. Completed containers terminated successfully and not deleted like init containers or containers belonging to job should not be restarted or even retry admission when kubelet is restarted. The reason is these containers already completed successfully. Init containers can be restarted, okay. This is the bug related in NV device plugin that may crash when kubelet restarts, but I have not deep dived into it. But even without that bug, the kubelet restart will ask all device plugins to restart and register their socks by design so that there will be a chance that there will be no healthy device when kubelet starts. The main problem is kubelet should not allocate devices for completed containers like completed jobs and init containers. So then this looks like a bug that we need to look into. Yeah, from my understanding, this doesn't take into account the init containers or the completed containers, the fixed CL. Does anyone have any thoughts here? The issue is more focused on the init containers. The completed init containers cause running pods to be restarted. This fix doesn't help because the pod is still running. I was thinking about it. Can we add the check here to skip allocate device if containers is expected stop? Looks like my pods were killed here.
I think Swati or Francisco were to be here. They might have been able to comment on this better.
Okay. Can you explain what's going on here?
Seems like a device manager related thing. They already engaged there. That's why I wanted to call them up.
Okay, so I'll just keep it as is then.
Yeah, I guess.
Work with
At least I have seen Swati coming to this meeting. She's not here today though.
sounds good. Thank you. I think this was too many container status unknown pod. This is from Jan 14. I think this is something we discussed last time, that we might want to utilize PSI related stuff in here. So I'll just skip this for now. Empty dir directories was not cleaned after pod deleted. This is from August 7. Newer version still applies to 126. Okay, 6 storage. So is this on us, or are we waiting for 6 storage to comment here?
Seems like we're waiting.
Okay. Kubelet eviction grace period overridden by pod.spec. Kubelet issued eviction always respects pod.spec.termination grace period seconds. Kubelet issued eviction should not respect pod spec termination grace period seconds, which could be super long. The reproduction steps are in here. This is the pod YAML. Create a pod with the above spec, then shell onto the pod and execute this to create a file that exceeds the volume limit. Observe the eviction being fired and pod not killed. So this is similar to, yeah, I'm not sure if grace period seconds matter here, but this is similar to what I see in the kill tests also. Like eviction comes in before the kill. Oh no, this is different. Although the eviction manager set the grace period to be 0 in most cases, the value is always overridden by this. The behavior depends on soft eviction or hard eviction. If it is soft eviction, we should override the pod grace period with the config option if it is configured. Could you please share your kubelet config? It is not about soft eviction, which should not apply to empty dir eviction anyway. The issue is that the int640 value eviction manager set for non-soft eviction will always be overridden to the grace period seconds here. To take care of this, the fix is being made. Let's see what this is. Evicted and forced deleted pods get their full termination grace period when they should not. And this is a known issue. And looks like the fix is being worked on.
There's a comment by Itemar also at the bottom.
Did I miss it? Yeah, so the fix is being worked on then, right?
Yeah, that's a link to the PR, right? Yep.
Yeah, sounds good. Cannot use host aliases when mounting files in etc. I have a file that I mount in etc and I use host aliases feature. Then pod goes into run container error state. What did you expect to happen? I expected that the pods to be deployed without any errors. These are the steps for reproduction. Once you deploy the above pod, you will see the following error. So when does the error occur? If I have a file that I mount in this, and if I use host aliases feature, then the pod goes into. Okay. Windows run container.
I wonder which runtime.
No information about that. Very old version.
Yes, I saw the comment by Paco. Is he able to reproduce it?
I would try to use subpath. I have not tested on it yet. Okay. No, nothing that I'm seeing from the reproduction here. Paco just mentioned that I would try to use the subpath and then nothing in here, right? And they have provided the kubelet log as well.
It's mentioned in the description that the error is actually read-only file system. So the etc is mounted read-only or root mounted read-only. So, but
Where are you seeing that?
it's in the description where the once you deploy the above pod, you will see the following error. And there is kubectl described output. If you scroll to the right, you will see the error.
So you said that it's mounted as read-only. Is that the reason?
Yeah, you see.
Okay.
On the very end. Well, I don't know, is it expected or not, but just notice that why it's mounted read-only, that's another question.
Okay, so should I ask this question or do we want to check whether this is an expectation if volume is mounted as read-only?
I can check.
Should I assign it to you then?
Yeah, sure.
What's your phone?
Yes.
Thank you. Ubuntu remove snap lxt plus vanilla Kubernetes plus restart is equal to kubelet fails. Ubuntu has a package manager called snapd. I do not use snaps, so I decided to remove it. After removing snapd, the kubelet fails to restart. Snap runs lxt, which appears to be a dependency. No impact as Kubernetes should not depend on snapd or lxt. So this is on 129, Cryo, and the Ubuntu version. Usekube ADM init vanilla. Upon completion, kubelet is running. Okay. Now remove snapd or alternatively purge it using this. Power off the machine, power on the machine. On boot, kubelet is no longer running. Let's see.
No, that's different. That's Harshal's bug, or the one that Harshal was looking at, the QPod slice because of the CPU manager.
Yeah.
Oh, is this for this one?
No, there's one more I'm looking at where the Kubernetes restarts. That's not the same one, but this at the surface doesn't look like a Kubernetes issue to begin with. Like, so Kubernetes does not have any snap related code at all.
I don't think that. I think that it's a correlation here. Actually, I don't think that the snap removal is doing anything. Like the failure in the kubelet log is the QPod's key group error. It's not like failed to find, package or whatever.
Hey, that's my bug. That surrogate comment is my issue that I'm dealing with here on January 24th. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Please also provide. So we are waiting for the cryo logs. So the error message does not say that there is any failing dependency that wasn't loaded, but the kubelet is still not running, right? Like, and it happens only when they remove the dependency. So there should be some correlation, I believe.
No, it would be shocking if there was. I think it is truly just a coincidence. I think that it should be closed as a duplicate of the other one, to be honest.
Is this the one?
You can assign this to me, Dikshita, and then
Sure.
I'll see.
And is this other one that you're looking into, or is it a different?
Can you open that?
Kubelet crashes with root container doesn't exist. Maybe it's a different one there.
I assign that to me. I'll try to find mine and connect it here.
Okay, so how are you gonna try reproducing it, or how are you gonna prove that this is not related to Kubernetes?
No, I'm saying as Peter said, right? This may not be related to. This may be related to the bug that I already have and working on. So I'll just see if the logs and they match. Then probably I'll close this as a duplicate of that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we are almost at time then. And that's all for today. Maybe we can, if there are no more bugs to triage next time as well, we'll just go over the ones in here after the empty door directories. Cool. That's all then, folks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.